Hey there, good morning and happy Friday on this Friday, September 13th. Welcome to Breakfast with Bridgett here, streaming live on News 6 Plus and clickorlando.com. I'm Bridgett Ellison. It's good to be with you and hope that you are excited about the weekend. We made it, and we're looking at still a lot of rain chances in the forecast. So we want to head over to meteorologist Michelle Morgan. She is in for Candace this morning. Hi, Michelle. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
Good, good. So we were talking about the humidity. That's why I just went ahead and I just clipped mine back. I just clipped it back
Good for
because
you.
I
I
tried.
just did a cut in and you could see my hair.
It looks great though. It
Well,
does.
thank you. Thank you. But it is very humid out there. If you haven't been outside yet, the humidity, it is almost unbearable
Like
how tropical
slice,
it
you could
feels out
slice
there.
it.
Yes, you could slice it. That's how thick it is. So yeah, we're looking at a humid day, no surprise, and also rain chances going up later on this afternoon. I do think things will remain mainly dry as we go through the morning, but I do want to show you this setup here as we take a look at what's going on. So as I zoom things out here, again, a few sprinkles moving across central Florida, but look at all that rain hanging over the Gulf of Mexico. So that's expected to enter our area around lunch, and then rain chances continuing to go up to 70% through the day, and even dealing with heavy rain up until sunset this evening. So looking pretty soggy for most, but a few light sprinkles are moving across western or West Marion County at the moment towards Ocala, Bellevue area, but sprinkles at best. Temperature wise, starting off in the upper 70s. And of course, the humidity feels like the middle 80s right now. But I do want to draw your attention to this. This is very interesting. So we're still looking at what's left of Hurricane Francine. It's not a hurricane anymore. It's a post-tropical cyclone. You could see that little L right there, that low pressure. Behind it, on the backside of that system, you see a lot of orange. That is dry air. So it's pulling in drier air from Canada, which is reaching the Gulf Coast states. So humidity levels are very low in Texas, Louisiana, even through Georgia and northern Florida. As we head into the weekend, we may even tap into a little bit of that drier air as we head in through that time frame, even next week. So the humidity could be lower. So looking forward to that. But your hour by hour forecast today, lower 90s, rain chances going up after 2 o'clock. And as we take a look at futurecast or future radar, light showers continuing to move across the area around lunch, getting heavy after 3, 4 o'clock. And pockets of heavy rain you could see here according to this model across the metro area and over a northern county. So Marion County, Flagler County could get a good soaking rain, as well as Brevard County around 6, 7 o'clock. So as we take a look at 8, 9 o'clock, still continuing to see light to moderate rain, and then most of the shower and storm activity coming to an end around 11 o'clock tonight, closer to midnight, and then kicking off our Saturday morning nice and dry. Now what's going on in the tropics? First, we have no tropical threats to central Florida, looking at two spots. One area closer to the Lesser Antilles has a 20% chance, very weak tropical wave of developing into a tropical something. Not worried about it. Looks like it's going to die off. It is running into some wind shear. And then another area close to coastal Georgia, the Carolinas has a 30% chance for tropical development there. It's a broad area of low pressure. Could develop into something, but nonetheless, it'll be a rainmaker for Georgia, coastal North and South Carolina as we head into the weekend. And Tropical Depression 7 is struggling a little bit out in the open Atlantic, the Eastern Atlantic. As we take a look at the latest track here from the National Hurricane Center, I'll start that over. It has winds of 35 miles per hour moving to the west northwest at 14 miles per hour here. It is expected to become Gordon later on today. I really don't see that happening because it's such a disorganized area of showers and thunderstorms. I'm not really seeing those thunderstorms consolidating around the center. Nonetheless, it's no one's problem. It will be a fish storm and stay out to sea. So here's a look at your 7-day forecast, looking soggy today and tomorrow. A little bit of that dry air moving in on Sunday, knocking down those rain chances to 50%, still hot and humid in the lower 90s. And then rain chances at 40% as we head into the upcoming work week, with our temperatures in the upper 80s and lower 90s. So if you like the rain, it's going to stick around for the next couple of days. If you're not a fan of it, rain chances will be a little bit lower as we head into next week, Bridgett.
more relief headed into next week. So at least there's that. So yeah, we
There's
have
that.
gotten a ton of rain, but you know what? We're just going to keep going, not canceling any plans. So,
There you go.
all right. Thanks, Michelle. See you in a little bit. So we want to check in with Trooper Steve. It is a Friday. Usually the traffic is a little bit better on Fridays, but not so much today. And I want to see what he's up to today on patrol a little bit later. Hi, Trooper Steve. How are you?
Good morning
Uh-oh.
to you. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing all right. I'm just, well, now you were frozen. Now you're not. That's good.
All right, I'm back. Here we go. I
You're
don't
good. Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
It's Wi-Fi. Sometimes they blame the Wi-Fi. Then they'll blame the signal. It's life. It's Friday.
Are you on
That's it.
Wi-Fi?
No, they yelled
No.
at me last time, so I'm on my beautiful signal. I don't
Okay.
know what the deal is.
Okay.
Hey, we're
Maybe
just
just
gonna hang out and we'll talk
raise
about
an
what's
arm
happening.
like an antenna while you talk about.
Stand here and be like,
Right.
all right, so
I'm gonna get you
everything's
some
looking pretty good
tinfoil.
out there. There's a tinfoil hat on someone's desk out there. So you're right. Today is our stream. Today will not happen because I will
Okay.
be hosting the POW MIA Remembrance Ceremony with the City of Orlando at City
Okay.
Hall in the Rotunda, and we will be paying tribute and having a ceremony for prisoners of war and those missing in action. And today, it's really probably the first time I've ever participated in anything specifically like this because
Mm-hmm.
usually we talk to POWs themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, the majority of our POWs don't make it home.
Yeah.
So today we will be speaking with the family of a POW who was killed on live TV over Al Jazeera TV.
Mm.
And the family witnessed that. And today we'll be having a discussion with that family from a different perspective. And I don't think we get this perspective often to let people know really what the family goes through and how
Right.
they are equally, they're equally going through this experience, just like that prisoner of war or the individual missing in action. So today that's going to be an amazing ceremony
Mm-hmm.
about 10:30 over at City Hall. It is open to the public
Mm-hmm.
if anybody's interested. But Ezzy Castro will be turning in his story probably for the noon or this
Mm-hmm.
afternoon show so everyone can see what's going on for that.
And do we know if we'll be able to watch it live streaming anywhere?
So I believe the City of Orlando might be streaming it over at City, I think their website,
Okay.
cityofbeautifulorlando.gov. They
Mm-hmm.
might be streaming it this morning out
Okay.
there, but I do know we'll be feeding some video back while
For
that
noon.
ceremony is
Mm-hmm.
taking today for
Okay.
the noon
Wonderful.
show. So pretty
Mm-hmm.
excited to do that. You are right. Traffic is always interesting on a Friday, and this morning is no different. So let's go straight to it. We are watching what I believe to be a fatal crash this morning off of Old Winter Garden between Mercy and Ferguson. It looked to be a single vehicle into a pole. That vehicle possibly caught fire. Medical examiners on scene. I spoke to a very, very close source of mine with Orlando Police Department that did confirm this is a fatal crash investigation. And you can see that's affecting John Young Parkway to the far right of your screen if you're watching from your phone or on your TV out at home. Out on the east side, this other crash causing some problems eastbound on Chickasaw, on Curry Ford at the intersection of Chickasaw. All residential out here, so please make sure we're focused while we're driving. If you're out on I-4 this morning, your drive times very nice this morning. 21 minutes from Kissimmee to downtown. I'm talking Osceola Parkway to State Road 50. And then if you're coming the opposite direction, 21 minutes. I wish that was like that every day. Southern portions of the Florida Turnpike, Kenansville, all the way down to Yeehaw Junction, State Road 60. I can never just say Yeehaw Junction. I have to say Yeehaw Junction.
What
There's
about
only like
Petticoat
5
Junction?
people. Right. So then Kissimmee St. Cloud, you guys, routine delays, but like we say, Fridays have gotten better here in Central Florida, so it's not as heavy. You're not seeing that northbound delay on the Turnpike, but you are seeing the delay out at 192. Once you get on the Turnpike, you're good to go. Attractions, not bad. Champions Gate, 535. We should all have medals for participation for that area. Lake Mary, just a slight delay there, but I do have a crash just inside of Orange City, off of I-4, kind of the transition spot there, off of Saxon Boulevard, eastbound between 1792, Volusia Avenue, and Enterprise. So just be careful. But Bridgett, outside of that, we're clear. Last night, I got to hang out with reporter Molly Reed, and her and I emceed together the 24th annual 7th District Crime Stoppers Award banquet, and we gave out some really amazing Officer of the Year awards for like our northern counties that we don't get to visit as much: Flagler, Volusia, St. John's, and I believe Putnam, which is just outside of our viewing area. So it was an awesome night, hence why I got the bags underneath my eyes this morning. But here to rock and roll on a Friday.
Yeah, that's great because Crime Stoppers and just that whole network, it really gets results all across Central Florida. So nice to see everyone
I don't think people realize that organization has been around for so long, and it's anonymous. It relays information to law enforcement when people are nervous about reporting certain things, and then they don't have to do these awards, but they go out of their way with the money raised through the government and charity to go out on their own and recognize these law enforcement officers, which is really cool. It was a really amazing stories last night.
Awesome. All right. Well, I'll let you get ready to head out to the City Hall for the MIA POW. But have a great weekend. Thanks, Trooper Steve.
You too, ma'am. See you later.
All right. We want to tell you about some good news in the fast-growing area of Palm Bay. They are getting a new fire station, and it's much needed, and it's actually being pulled off without raising taxes. So News 6's Mark Lehman has more on that plan. He talked to the fire chief there.
How much is this fire station needed in Palm Bay?
It's extremely, especially in this area of the city. There's not been a lot of good coverage.
Chief Richard Stover says Palm Bay's Fire Station 7 can't come soon enough. With a booming population, the city's firefighters are already stretched thin.
But it's extremely needed, and with the additional growth that's going up over in that area of the city, it's going to be coming in at a perfect time.
The lack of locations has been hurting emergency response times, with it taking as long as 20 minutes in some cases. The issue has been finding funding without having taxpayers foot the bill. Last month, council members rejected the idea of putting a proposal to raise taxes on the November ballot.
The city manager and the council, the mayor have all been looking creatively to find us some money.
On top of the fire station breaking ground today, Stover says the city could use 6 more, and they're in the process of putting a temporary squad in place. Meanwhile, he says the city is doing everything they can with the resources they have.
All we ask is that they understand that it takes time, but not to be afraid if they have concerns to give any of us a call.
So that's good news. And of course, there's always so much development happening around Central Florida. And so, these fire stations and different things like road improvements, more schools, always needed. So we keep you updated on all of that. And right now we want to get to more about Melbourne, because we are hitting the road there next week. If you haven't heard, that's our next stop, and we'll go live there with our newscast coming up on the 18th. And that coastal community still has a small town feel, but it is so much more than the beach. So News 6's Robert Brewer from our investigative team has more about some work being done there and a multi-million-dollar startup company that is really getting results.
One of our more famous customers, they were on Shark Tank.
Introducing Swift Paws Home.
Oh my God.
Some of the feedback she received on the show was that the cost for the home system was a little bit too much.
Yeah.
And so she came to us to bring the cost down, and she was able to sell it at her desired price point in time for the holidays.
Suzanne Short, Chief Operating Officer of Catania Product Development, says her team specializes in designs that are artistic, functional, manufacturable, and
at the right price point so that they can sell it and make a profit, because at the end of the day, the business is there to be profitable.
both Catania and SwiftPaws are members of Groundwell Startups, a growing ecosystem of innovators and businesses located along US 1 in Melbourne.
This is the place to build a company. It's really low cost in terms of living, and then we have so many engineers.
It's almost like a no-brainer.
Exactly.
Founded in 2016, Groundswell has a track record of success. They've helped more than 500 startups, created over 200 jobs, and one of their members, Tomahawk Robotics, sold their business for $200 million.
Hey, Melbourne is really innovative, and you should be looking here if you're looking to, place a technology investment.
Robert Brewer, getting results. News 6.
So who knew? If you didn't know about that, that is amazing. And so we hope that you'll join us next week as we hit the road. We'll be at Squid Lips on September 18th, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. That is at 1477 Pineapple Avenue in Melbourne. So come on out, meet the team, get some swag, get some grub. We hope to see you there. And now we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with News 6 photojournalist and podcast host Corey Murray to talk about this week's episode of Black Men Sundays.
Ask Corey for a quick mic check.
Hey, Corey, can you hear me? Can you do a mic check?
Yeah, mic check, check.
Sounds good. How are you?
I'm great, ready to rock.
Yeah. So
yeah.
this Sergeant Lewis, he's mostly a motivational speaker.
Yes, but he gave some wealth tips. Basically, his is a lot of his wealth tips are military based. So he gave some. I didn't put it in there because I want the listeners to be able to listen. But he gave some benefit tips of guys in the military, where basically if you put money in, like he said, if you put $1 in, they'll give you up to $8. So basically, he gave a lot of tips on how he was able to achieve his wealth.
Oh, he wants us to
Benefits
stand
through
by.
the military.
Okay.
Go out there, do your job. And they was
Welcome back to Breakfast with Bridgett, streaming live on clickorlando.com and News 6 Plus. We want to check in with Corey Murray. He's one of our longtime photojournalists here at News 6 and also the host of the podcast Black Men Sundays, more than 100 episodes strong. Happy Friday, Corey.
Happy Friday. How you doing?
Good, good. I'm excited to hear more about your guest this week, Sergeant Roy Lewis. You talked to him about a lot of things and a lot of good advice. So tell us more.
Yeah, so basically, Sergeant Roy Lewis is a retired Army combat veteran with over 36 years of service. His brother also executed special operation missions in Iraq. He's also an author and he's a drill sergeant, and he's achieved a lot of wealth in his life. What's unique about him is because he's a drill sergeant, I had to ask him, I said, a lot of entrepreneurs are starting businesses. People are in their business for a year or two and they're not really making any money. So the fear of failure kicks in. So, with your military background, how do you, how do you teach new cadets about handling fear or overcoming fear? Let's roll that soundbite.
go out there, do your job. And they would say, Sergeant Major, what if I make a mistake? Make a good one. Make a good one. Because the thing about it is, if you're going to make a mistake, if you're working for me and you made a mistake, I'm going to ask you, what was your intent? And you should be able to speak to that thing. What was your intent? And chances are 9 times out of 10, I won't chew you out because you made a decision. And a lot of people are afraid about making decisions. That stifles a lot of creativity and everything like that. But you make a mistake, own it, learn from it. When you go back, regroup, reevaluate, and then take another step forward again and do it again. Because that's what you get from me. I'm not going to feel sorry for you. I'm going to tell you, get out there, do it again. And again, and again. My son, if I could say in the book, my son got arrested while I was in Iraq.
Yes, and he's talking about his book, Broken Things. It's a Christian motivational book. He's a motivational speaker, and he's someone that's also a business owner and has a lot of wealth. So I thought he would be a great guest, a lot of information, a lot of inspiring information, because I feel like when I talk to different business owners, the one thing that, you don't really hear a lot about, but they tell you is, mental health, because a lot of times you're doing everything at that job if you're not established enough to have a lot of employees. So I felt like this brother would give us some motivation. And he's a drill instructor, so he didn't come to play around. And one thing that he did provide, you'll have to listen, but for guys out there, ladies and guys out there that want to, if you're already in the military or if you're thinking about joining the military, he gave some benefits where basically for every dollar that that you spend, that you donate, the military will put $8 in that account for you. So like I said, listen to the show. It comes out this Sunday, Black Men Sundays. It's one thing I thought was really unique about this show is that how he basically used his military training and his instructor skills, but it also relates to life skills and business owners. So yeah, this show's action packed. I mean, from start to finish. Oh yeah, and one thing we're also doing, because it's election season, so at the end of every show, after we take care of the money and the business, we got to take care of the money first. At the end of the show, I'm asking every guest. We're not having a debate because Black Men Sundays isn't a political show, but we're asking all the guests, who are you going with in the election? We just asking that one question and we getting out of there. So definitely, from going forward, when you listen to Black Men Sundays, make sure you listen to the end to see, because there's a lot of surprises. Like there's some guests that we've had where I thought they were going for one candidate and they picked another, and I said, okay.
So you're saving a little bit of time at the end of each show now to talk about that.
Well, it's a podcast, so I can't say I'm saving time. Like I said, I'm taking care of business first, and we just popping it on there,
Okay. Well, I like this. I like this guest, and I always like when we talk about the whole person in terms of success on so many different levels, and I think he represents that in terms of speaking to the toughness and the training and discipline of the military, but also, like you said, from a spiritual standpoint and a mental health standpoint, as well as financial health. So that's great.
Yep, and as well as how he maneuvered through the hardships of life as well. So, all of that, and what's unique about it is all of that information that he gives. Like I said, if you're a business owner, an entrepreneur, then he's basically giving you tips as well.
Right, because all of it has to work together, and that's what I like. You always talk about those elements. So, all right, Corey, so that drops on, midnight Sunday?
That's right, midnight Sunday, all podcast platforms, YouTube. The article comes out that Sunday, clickorlando.com. This is Black Men Sundays. And before I get out of here, we're starting up our turkey drive as well this year. So I'm just putting it out there.
Okay.
On the upcoming shows, I'm gonna have to give you some QR codes. I'm starting a little early this year, and I have some news.
Hey, everyone starts early, so good deal.
Yeah,
Looking forward to it.
I'm adding. Yeah, but I'm adding.
Okay.
Something to it.
Okay, Corey.
So that details coming soon.
Good deal. Always looking forward to that too. Getting results. I'll see you soon.
That's right. All right.
Thank
see
you.
Soon.
All right, bye. Before we go, we talked about Melbourne and how we're headed out there next week. And my co-anchor and insider guy, Crystal Moyer, has more about some more things happening in Melbourne and what the area has to offer.
WKMG is once again hitting the road. This time we are in Melbourne. I'm your News 6 anchor and insider guide, Crystal Moyer, and I've got some unique places you'll want to check out. This is your guide to the city. If you want to take a ride on the wild side, you'll want to visit the Brevard Zoo off Wickham Road. It's home to more than 900 animals on 72 acres. You can get face-to-face and even feed the giraffes. And learn about the zoo's conservation efforts at the local and global levels. Feeling artsy? A trip to the O'Galley Arts District, or EGAD, will bring out your creative side. Art studios and galleries line Highland Avenue. You think of this area, it's called the O'Galley Arts District, but it's part of Melbourne. What's up with that?
So O'Galley and Melbourne started as two different towns. They actually merged together in 1969, and I find it slightly funny that they ended up going with the Melbourne name, because one of the names floated at the time was Melbo Galley. Would not have worked very well.
I ran into Angela McHugh, who manages the Rossiter House Museum in the EGAD. It's a historic home built in 1908 that was owned by James Wadsworth Rossiter, the leading merchant in the fishing industry at the time. Visitors can tour the property inside and out. While the furniture here is original to this home, what's unique about it are the wood paneling designs on the walls and ceilings. You'll also see some antique items like this doll and unique wind-up bird cage. Our next stop is the Crane Creek Promenade. It's a park and paved walkway along Melbourne Avenue overlooking the lagoon. If you hang out here long enough, you may spot some manatees. For Broadway productions, concerts, and comedy, you'll want to visit the King Center for the Performing Arts on Wickham Road. The venue also invites students from time to time to experience live performances. Some of you also reached out encouraging visitors to support community theater at the Melbourne Civic Theater on Strawbridge Avenue. Helen Seaman sent an email describing it as a tiny, intimate theater offering a unique experience. Tiffany Fairbanks also sent us an email describing the Melbourne Civic Theater as a cool little gem in downtown. I did reach out to the artistic director and haven't heard back, but I do plan to check it out in the future. And downtown Melbourne has a unique mix of bars, boutiques, and restaurants, perfect for nightlife along Strawbridge and New Haven Avenues. So I want to know, what are some of your favorite spots here in Melbourne? You can comment on the bottom of the article on clickorlando.com/insider. In Melbourne, Crystal Moyer, Getting Results, News 6.
So make sure you head over there. While you're there, enter to win some of those contests, because those are always free to insiders as well. And it's free to sign up to be an insider. So go to clickorlando.com/insider to learn more and check out more of our top stories at clickorlando.com. That'll do it for this Friday, September 13th. Hope you have a great weekend. I'll see you for more news and weather coming up at noon. Take care.